Hey guys, Duncan the Highlander here. Here's a flashback to my first fight about 4 years ago. I've had one fight a year, which is pretty bad. Most people would consider that a long time off. So here's all the way back to my very first fight against Nick Alley, who is now a current fighter in Bellator. Um, so yeah, this is my very first fight. I'm 19, 20 years old here. Come out kind of hard, very, very wild, throwing some kicks, very nervous, very tight. Comes in, clinches me right up. Try to use some sort of tie clinch. You are allowed to throw elbows where I am here at amateur. I really don't have too much defense, so I'm just going for a guillotine here. But luckily I was able to use my hands, get back up, but I touched the cage there, give me a warning. Try to throw some knees, and I got him right in the balls. Like I said, if you've seen my other fight commentary, I mentioned that I feel like I've kicked everybody I fought in the balls. This is why I say that. This is my first fight. I need Mr. Alley very hard, right in the testicles. So he's thinking about life, resting. One thing that was kind of weird was the ref chose to put us right next to each other. Typically you put us in neutral corners, but, you know, it's amateur. He's still learning too. So yeah, he's taking his time, resting. He's looking at his corner for a little bit. And getting back in the center. He's telling me one more time he's going to take a point. Okay, I'm super gassed, by the way, but trying to keep it all in. There I am, turning my head away really bad, but I'm like, okay. Didn't check that kick at all. That's my most proudest moment for me into the fight here, is that when he came in, I angled off and hit an uppercut. Try and do some clinch work, but it's really sloppy. It's a very sloppy fight for me. Once again, as he goes for the takedown against the cage. See, I'm not using any. Now I have actual some wrestling defense here. I'm not using any of it. My hands, I should be defending. My hands should be across his face, using a cross face, trying to defend, not allowing him to close his arms around my hips. See how I keep going for a guillotine? That's not going to keep me standing on my feet. So that's just like basic 101. So here, he's on top of me. I'm trying to kind of stay safe. You know what I mean? I knew that he was, I'm a white belt. He's a purple belt in jiu-jitsu, so I knew that he had the grappling on me. So I'm trying to just stay safe. I'm hugging him, staying nice and calm. I know what he's trying to do here is he's trying to pass my guard. So what does that mean? Is I'm in half guard right now. He's trying to bring his knee that is in between my legs, and he wants to get that on top of me into full mount or inside control so that he can start raining bombs on me. At this time, I don't have much jiu-jitsu, so I'm just holding on to him, hoping that the refs will stand us and just trying to stay safe. So that's why I got my hand over the top of him, and I'm staying nice and tight, keeping hold of his. See, I got pretty decent control over his arm, and, you know, I'm not taking any damage. I mean, the ref really could have stood us up by now, but he didn't, and that's okay. But now I got more. I mean, now I would try to get out the back door, especially with that underhook there. I would try to keep going towards my right side, but I don't do any of that because I just don't have much jiu-jitsu at this point in time. So now once he starts to go past, I realize, oh shit, he's getting past me. So here, I wall walk. See, he's getting past. So I wall walk to escape out the back door. And here I'm just being crazy. Just swinging. That, wish I had kept those tight, and here's my next chance. I wish I had gone for an armbar, or even better, when we stood up here, I wish I had not gone for his back, just stood up and kicked him in the face. But you live and you learn. You're going crazy when everything's happening. It's hard to really. One of the big things that I was happy was my kickboxing fight in. Well, one of the things that I was happy about my kickboxing fight was the fact that I was able to stay calm and actually think while I was in there. Think about what I was going to do. Think about what I wanted to do. I mean, I didn't throw as many kicks throw as many leg kicks, which I would have liked, but I was happy that I was able to think about things. You see how gassed I am? My last fight, I got tired conditioning wise, but this is the fight that I really learned a lot about, like, just gas. Like, I was gassed. My heart is beating. At this point in time, I feel like I'm going to puke. I'm already so tired, I can't even imagine that I have to go back out there and fight another round. So that's not, you never want to be in that sort of situation when you're about to get into a fight. You want to feel like you have energy for days. So, and hats off to Nick Alley. Nick Alley is now currently in Bellator. So, you know, I've never fought anybody who was no slouch. And that's gone through all the way through to now. I've had 4 fights, and everybody I fought was a decent martial artist, and have had decent career after my fight with them as well. Um, so now we're moving on to the next round, which sadly is the final round of this fight. I didn't have much in the beginning here, my ground games, and now I'm working on the wrestling. So we come back out, slips that, hits me hard, coming in. My chest is up high. He spins, and I decide that I was going to spin, where I should have done a back kick, really kept my knee in. That knee, I felt, but that knee was okay. But right here, it's going to be a little punch. Doesn't look like much. I felt that so much. That's probably the hardest shot I've actually felt in all my fights, even harder than the kick, the spinning hook kick. If you guys watching this have seen that, that was actually the hardest punch I've ever been hit with, the hardest shot. I felt that very much. The whole world went woof. Whereas with the spinning hook kick, I honestly just felt like somebody pushed me down to the ground. Here, once again, first fight, I completely stopped for a moment there when he took the point. Completely stopped. Was discouraged. I was like, he's got taken me down. Whereas I should have just kept turning. It's funny too. Now as you know more, you see all these things. There was a time when I watched this and I was like, well, there's nothing I could have done here. He didn't even really have me down here. I needed to keep turning my hips, get back up. There's so much I could have done, and I was holding on to his head for way too long. I have nothing there here. I should have let go of his head. I'm not doing anything. There, he punches. I turn right over to my back. So you can tell, at this time, I have no jiu-jitsu. Just none. Now, this is a very slick maneuver on Nick's part. So now I guess I'm commentating my defeat here. So typically, you see with the rear naked choke, you see the standard style where they come over to the arm. But this is not what he does. He goes judo style, rear naked strangle. Okay, so we're going for style points here. So what he's doing is he's grabbing his hand, he's coming under the chin. Now what makes that special is that I'm reaching for a hand, going to try to get the hand there. There's nothing there because he's grabbing his own hand and pulling it up. I start to see the world dip in, and I tap. I start to see everything, the tunnel vision, and I'm like, it's time. But of course, that was my first fight. And yeah, I'm going to put this out there. Hey, if you guys like that, obviously there's going to be more fights. That was my first fight against Nick Alley, who is now a current Bellator fighter in Bellator MMA. So yeah, if you guys like that, please get at me at Duncan the Highlander on Instagram. And if you guys enjoy these videos, please get at me on Patreon. I would love to get some support. That's what's going to help me to allow me to make more videos and be able to get these videos better, and more importantly, so that I can start having some sort of credentials so that people can start coming on these videos with me, so that I can get some interesting guests on here for you guys, and so that hopefully I can do some of the things that I'm thinking of. So specifically, I still need a camera and stuff, so hopefully with you guys' help we can do those things. So yeah, be bold guys, and stick around. There's much more. Little side story, this is my first fight, and a week after this fight I was offered a chance to go deep sea fishing in the middle of the ocean 300 miles away from shore for 2 weeks at a time with 4 random strange grown men. And I found some pictures of that and some videos, so I'm going to put some of those online. I've gone through a lot of crazy things in life, and that was definitely one of the most psychedelic, shamanic experiences. This short period of time going right into this fight, right from there out into the middle of the ocean. But thank you guys, and please get at me. Peace. Be bold.